I'm your host, Jeremy, as always, the mighty Alpha you all know and love. This podcast is my sanctuary and I will die in it. Trust me, I probably will. I hold a bazaar for ghosts on a weekly basis because they need no dreams are never alone, and either are they. Basically, a therapist to ghosts. I'm awesome like that. My co host, however, is a moonstruck April Fool who will tell his tales of the things we do for love and the saddest and everything to anybody who will listen. You might want to call him a virgin, but fair warning, the damage he causes when you do will be very tremendous. He may give you a pale black eye, which will not be covered by maniacal music musings because we're not liable for his actions. Just saying. But just remember that light can only shine in the darkness, and since we're lords of fire, we shine brighter than the head beams of trucks on a 270. Ladies and gentlemen, CJ, the music god motherfucking playing.
Hey, yo, yo, yo. Yo, yo.
I feel like my I feel like my internet is freezing. So yeah, don't know what that's about. But
Sunspots.
that's right, folks. Your musers are back once again to bring you, well, maybe not 3 albums this week, but we're gonna bring you some new content regardless, and just have a good time with it. Our guest didn't make it this week, but that's okay because we had 2 awesome albums ourselves that we just want to talk about regardless. So we might as well bring you guys those, and then if he wants to come on another time, we'll make it work. But how you doing this week, CJ?
You know what? I'm alive. I'm not in jail, and I haven't needed bail money. So let's call it a win. It has been a week.
That right there is the goals, though. I mean, I feel the same. I feel the same way today. I'm alive. My car's not broken down. Knock on wood.
Right.
And I have a job still, so I'm with you. Let's keep it going.
No dead children, no dead bodies in the backyard, and I'm also on this side of the dirt. So
I promise nothing about the backyard, but yeah, children are great. Well, folks, I will say before we get started that the guest we were going to have did have a really great album choice, and we'll talk about his album choice if he ever decides to come on, if he wants to reschedule and come on again. But CJ, what album did you want to bring?
I brought a hip hop artist from Detroit. His name is Aztek the Barfly, and you've heard me mention him in previous episodes a time or two, and I thought it was appropriate since our guest was, or are supposed to be guest, as a bit of a hip hop artist. So, you know, I brought Aztek the Barfly. He has a record. He has 3 or 4 records. The 16 Chapel. He has one called The Bar Bully. And this one is his newest solo one. It is called The Line King. Line. And it's a big old beast of a record.
The ironicness in that name. And the ironicness in that name, I love that he went into that a little bit. So I'll get to that in a little bit, though. But I love that he leaned into it.
Yeah, he does. Like, it's a lot of his stuff is like, if you listen to it, the 16 Chapel, the Bar Bully, the Lion King. It's basically all about him being, a lyricist, essentially. So, and even the newer one, he's got a new group that I didn't know about. And the new group, he has, it's called Massamoon, and the record is called BIDS, BIDS, and it stands for Beautifully Ignorant Disrespectful Shit. So and it's with three other dudes. One of them is Big Left from La Coca Nostra, the early days of La Coca Nostra. Left was only on the EP, the original EP, but he has a bunch of solo stuff as well. So, yeah, Aztek the Barfly, part of Foul or
Yeah.
produced by Foul Mouth, part of I can't think of the group. They have along with him Bang Belushi, Kid Vicious, which is Royce the 5'9's younger brother, is also part of this group. So saw him on the record, and a who's who of other Detroit stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. I gotta say, this was a new one for me. I kind of remembered you saying the name at one point or another, and I was like, I'm like, this sounds familiar, and I was like, I didn't know what I was walking into. Not one damn bit. I liked it. I mean, I liked it. I'm not sure what I liked though. I'm not sure if I liked him or his guest spots
Right.
because I feel like I don't know his voice well enough to really distinguish between some of him and some of the guests. I don't know who they are either. So I'm like, there's only a couple songs where I know the guests. I know the guests, and I'm like, all right, I know that voice, and that's not him. But it was overall a good album. I enjoyed it. There's definitely a bunch of songs in there that went in my like list. But his beats all sound very similar. That's the other issue I had. Is it was just like each song sounded like the same, and it got to the point where I was like, I need something different. Like what the freak? Like I got through it, but like I didn't want to keep going after a while because it's just like they're all the same beat over and over again. I'm like, you need to like maybe one note off here and there, but it's basically the same thing over and over again. I'm like the lyrics are good, but I can't freaking get past the beat. It's driving me insane. So I mean, overall it was a good album. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I definitely there's definitely songs in there I can listen to that the flow was amazing on, which I'll get to all that when I get to my top five. But I don't know.
That's production is done by Foul Mouth. He's the guy that's Foul Mouth Productions, and he does a really good job being creative, but he does at times get a little monotonous with he doesn't change things up as much. I like his use of certain effects, especially with Aztek. He has that gorilla sound they use. You'll hear it and it'll go,
Yeah.
Oh. And they drop it in like right at the perfect spots where it makes it just sound like that sort of beast coming through. So, that was one thing about Aztek that I really like, but he is definitely one of the better lyricists out of Detroit, and I'll put him up against anybody. I tell people all the time when I talk about Eminem that it's not that I don't like M. I just get really sick of people talking about M like he's the greatest thing ever from Detroit, when the reality is there are a lot of guys like Aztek, King Gordy, Kid Vicious, Bang Belushi that can easily go bar for bar with M, and they just kind of get shit on.
I mean, I'll even throw it to Isham Twisted and Shaggy Two Dope too from Detroit. That girl taking him on. Violent J, not so much, but I mean Jay's all right with his flow when he wants to be, but he's not really a lyricist. His lyrics are kind of simple, like he didn't through high school, but because he didn't. But I mean, Shaggy would kill him. That's my opinion. And we all know Twisted. We all know the story about between him and Twisted. So I mean, yeah, it is what it is. Detroit's Detroit. Yeah, but see, I dread if we ever do that loud list that you want to do, where it's the best Detroit rappers, because I'm gonna have such a hard problem making that list. But it's gonna be such a fucked list.
I mean,
but maybe someday.
That's one I'm gonna need somebody
a lot of
from
time.
Detroit
Detroit,
or
yeah.
that really understands Detroit hip hop, because again, I think we'd be better off doing the top 10 white
Best
rappers
way.
that named Eminem. That way we can include white
Yeah,
rappers from everywhere.
even I mean, any list that has to do with artists, whether it be rock or rap, I always have a fucking hard time with it. It's like there's so many out there that it's just like Jesus. Like how do you pick and choose? Like it's not like movies where you know which ones are amazing. There's so many
Yeah,
rappers you never heard of before that are just like that you could not even know about and they should be on your list. It's just it's one of those things. What can I
yeah.
say? But
I mean, it ends up being essentially, as always, when you can say, you can do a list, say the greatest white rappers, not named Eminem, and you could sort of lean towards the greatest, but it always ends up being a combination of greatest and your favorites, because realistically, if you were
your favorites
doing
are your greatest.
yeah, like if you're doing a list of white rappers, I'm going to have people on my list that I think are the greatest that are not going to be on other people's list. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to have Mac Miller on my list because I don't think Mac Miller was that fucking special. But heaven forbid you do a list of white rappers and don't include Mac Miller because, Mac Miller. Mac Miller was not that fucking special. Okay. Like he really wasn't. Like, yes, I know he died. No disrespect to
All
him.
right, actually,
I'm not a fan. I've never been a fan of heard
maybe
Mac say anything.
maybe we need to.
So
Me either. But I mean,
yeah.
I don't know.
But anyway,
Maybe we should do that. We should do that episode
yeah,
at some point because I think it would be controversial as fuck with our list. But
yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like
but what were your
it
top
ends up
five
being a
or
combination of greatest and favorites. So, and that's kind of what I'm going for. Is I want to see that's different. If you're doing a top 10 list and you're only picking the lowest hanging fruit, that's what are you even there for? Like, that's why I say white rappers not named Eminem, because obviously if you include Eminem in it, everybody's gonna have M at one. That's just it's not even challenging at that fucking point. You know what the number was.
he he. I honestly can say he would be on my list as an honorable mention if he was included. I would not put him in on top 10 even.
I say he wouldn't make my top 25 for white rappers. He just wouldn't. And again, no offense to Eminem.
He might not. He honestly might. He might not. He might not mind either. Honestly, I could say that, but
I don't
I
connect
mean,
to his shit.
I also would have to do some research because there's some rappers I don't. I'd have to do my research because there's some rappers I don't even really know what color they are. I've never seen a picture of them.
Right.
So it's and I'm not going to judge somebody on their voice or their what they say.
That's what I'm saying. And there's some that are mixed.
Mm-hmm.
So do you include them in the list? There's this massive debate about Drake and Logic. Drake and Logic are both mixed. Do you include them on the list of white rappers? Because technically, they are white rappers. They just happen to be also black rappers. So, are they on the list or not? Or do you get technical and say only all white rappers? Because are there really any all white rappers? Like everybody's got fucking, Nems is another one. He's fucking Puerto Rican and Irish. So, do you include Nems?
I mean, I could probably name 25 pure white rappers that are cut from snow.
Exactly.
But
I could do 100. I could do 100 off the top of my fucking head. But that's what I'm saying. M wouldn't be in my top 25 because I have other white rappers that the majority of people would skip over that I think are just better lyrically, content wise, and everything else. Do they sell as many records? No. But, Taylor Swift sells more records than fucking Stevie Nicks. But am I going to put fucking Taylor Swift on a list above Stevie Nicks? Hell fuck no. Absolutely fucking not. So, I mean, if you're basing the greatest on record sales, you're kind of missing the fucking point because you're leaving a lot of motherfuckers in the lurch that maybe ain't sold records, but
Oh
are
God, yeah,
what?
undiscovered. That's all.
Yeah.
They're undiscovered.
So
That's all it is. They're undiscovered. But what are your top 5 for Aztek though?
number 5 for me is Lion King, the title track. I like the beat of that. I like the little piano parts of it. Um, number 4 is 93 Jerry Ball.
Yeah.
I love the Detroit. I love the Detroit Lions reference. It was up until recently, it was the last time the Lions had a good team. So when Jerry was one of the tough guys of that team. So the references, and I love that he has a good lineup of guys on that one. 270, that starts a record off with just a really, it's got that massive boom bap style. Sounds a lot. 270 to me really could be a Snow Goons too. It has that Snow Goons style to it. Number 2, I guess I honorable mentions. I had Alpha, Fair Warning, and the Overture featuring King Gordy. I guess I should mention that. Number 2 though is Ricky Pierce. Ricky Pierce is the one where he has the line about I haven't met or I keep in my head what math teachers have. And then the next line he's like, I'm a fucking problem. I thought that was like one of the coolest fucking lines. The first time I heard it, I was like, dude, I wish I would have fucking thought of that. Like, that's such a great fucking line. And number 1 for me, because it has my favorite Detroit rapper on it, is Blackout. And it has Fat Father on it. Fat Father is another rapper who is just outstanding. If you get a chance to check his shit out, man. The dude has bars, and now the second generation, his son has started producing and rapping, and him and his son do shit together. And his son is really fucking awesome too. His son's only like 16 now, but his son's already got fucking bars. So, he definitely inherited. And it's great because when Fat Father come out, he was King Gordy's size. He was about 380 pounds. And he has since lost a shit ton of weight. And he is now down to about 230 pounds. So I tease him all the time about you're not Fat Father anymore. Now he's Skinny Father. So
Sounds like sounds exactly like my journey actually. But
yeah.
380. I never been 380 in high school and beyond. But this is actually interesting because we had completely different top 5s. I only have one honorable mention. I like the beginning of this album, and then there's a few select picks throughout the rest of the album I like. The beginning of the album, though, is where the fire is. My honorable mention was Banging the Barfly. The beat in it was sick. That's why I got thrown on the honorable mention list. But
that's the one that has Ben Belushi on it.
Number 5 was. I never heard of him. I never heard a lot. I never heard a lot of the guests on this album. But
Ben Belushi is Bizarre if Bizarre had actual talent. Basically.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's I'll sum it up real simple. Ben Belushi is Bizarre if Bizarre had talent.
Well, there you go. My number 5 was Out for the Beginning. I mean, I wasn't that big a fan of the track, honestly, but that one line, I'll make Mufasa scar Simba, that had me dying laughing. So, like, it's just the wordplay in that was fucking phenomenal. My number 4 was Fair Warning, because that line, I make people gather around and chat like they're at abortion clinics, like, it's fucking golden. That's a golden ass line. And I was like, I had to rewind it a couple times to hear that again and again. So I was like, that line is so perfect. Number 3 was Nightmare Trucks.
Yeah, that's a great
It
song.
had a decent beat, and I mean that one line, that one little short line, the verb flipping Merv Griffin, like that, like Wheel of Fortune reference had me dying laughing. But number 2 was 270 because that was a really good track overall. Flow, beat, lyrics were all pretty sick. And my number 1 had to be the overture because it's fucking King Gordy, and King Gordy is a god.
I love what King Gordy does on that one
So
too. Like
yeah,
he's like
I
from the
mean,
viewpoint of like a gay prostitute. Like only fucking King Gordy would fucking rap a song about being a gay prostitute, and could get away with it without somebody saying something off the wall to him, you know, like like it's such a King Gordy thing that yeah. So
it is, it really is, and I mean, I love King Gordy. I love King Gordy. I love them in.
yeah,
I love the. What the hell was it? Last
Lars.
American Rock Stars. I loved him in that shit. Like he was amazing in that. And a lot with M&E, a lot of the stuff he said in M&E was freaking like just golden. Like he was able
Yeah,
to do whatever he wanted, and they let him just go off the hook, and he did, and he was phenomenal with it. So I enjoy the shit out of King Gordy, and that's why Overture had
yeah.
to be my favorite.
He's hilarious in person.
But well, I'm sure he is. I mean, but folks, I guess that means it's time to get to my album, which I didn't matter what the guest was going to bring this week. I've had this album planned for a couple months now, at least, ever since I had a release countdown for it on Spotify, and I I knew it's going to be a long one to talk about too. I know because CJ's a fan of them too, so it's going to be two fans talking about somebody here. But eh, oh, rip off the band-aid here, folks. I just brought him a good month or two ago, but I had to bring him again. It's Lord of the Lost Opus Noir Volume 1 album. And since I saw it releasing, I started listening to the singles that were on it. I had to bring it. I had to bring it the week. Technically 5 days after it came out. So I listened to it probably 3 times on Friday alone, just because I was so amazed by it. Like it's he did not disappoint me with this one. It was just phenomenal. Probably the best thing he's done since Blood and Glitter, honestly. And it's and the fact that it's a volume 1 has me stoked because that means I think it's his next Swan Songs trilogy. That's what I can see it as, because he hasn't done like a trilogy like that in a while. So I think it's his next trilogy, and I'm down for it. If he wants to do a bunch of opuses, I'm 100% down for that. He has the skill to do it, and some of the guestings on this album had me phenomenally impressed. So I I fucking loved it. I had to bring it on, and I had to make CJ listen to it the week it came out. I had to. So what you think of Lord's new album, CJ?
Um, so this isn't going to be nearly as long as you like, um, because to be honest,
That's what she said.
I don't like this record. I could not get into it. This one is going to take
Really?
this is going to take multiple listens for me to get into. I don't like what he did on this record. Just sounds it sounds generic and rushed and in like to me these songs sound like throwaway songs. They sound like songs he pulled out that didn't make other records, like they don't even sound like new songs to me. They sound like songs that were bits and pieces of something else or that he had for another record. And I don't know, like there were 2 songs on this record that
I,
there were 2 songs on this record that I liked, and basically, to be completely honest, it was because of who was on the songs with them. So, um, you know, it was a saving grace. So yeah, I get why you like. I mean, I love Lord. I love Chris. You know, um, I love Chris. I love what he does. A lot of respect for him, but just like I said, I'm not saying I'm not going to end up liking this record, but I got a feeling this one is going to be like one of the earlier ones. It's going to take a few listens for me to, you know, connect to this one. Um, so, yeah.
I mean, but to me, I mean, I don't get his earlier stuff. It's less emo-y than his earlier stuff to me. It's more he's embracing his goth self, who he is, and I feel like I mean, this is almost a follow-up to Judas, in my opinion, to his Judas album. Like that's where it's a follow-up to me. Like it's the
Yeah.
same
And it kind of
similar. It's a
reminds me.
similar album, and I feel like he's
Trying to think of the early record that they had that I didn't. It took me a long time to. Uh, and Antigone was the one that it took me, you know, a while
oh
to.
no, I
It was either Antigone or Die Tomorrow. It was one of those two. It took me a really long time to like those records. And like I said, I'm not saying I'm not gonna end up liking this record. I'm just saying the first impression of it did not connect at all. Um, it doesn't have the feel of Judas to me at all, or Thorn Star. Thorn Star is my favorite. Um, Thorn Star is the one that got me into them. So, yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's as someone who didn't get into them until like this is the newest album since I got into them. So I mean, maybe it's because it's fresher to me than like. I mean, I just listened to every single album he did like over the last month and a half, 2 months. So, and I watched a lot of his videos on repeat for a long time. So it's I mean, I don't know. This album really, to me, I've been listening to the singles for months as they release them. So it's kind of I've seen the videos as they release them. So this album has impressed me a lot. Like he's it shows to me it shows he's growing. He's growing and he's going to the next chapter of his career. Same as Marilyn Manson does with his career, which is who I usually compare Lord to. Like he goes through chapters where he does like certain songs. His first phase was like a falling in reverse phase almost in a way, but then it went to him with the whole Swan Song era, and I'm not a huge fan of that era, but it is what it is. I like it for what it is, and I like certain songs in it. And then it went to the next era, which was like Judas and Blood and Glitter, which are all more fantastical, like fantasy albums. And this album, I think, is kind of like the beginning of a darker saga for him, where he like sings about the darkness in the world. So, I mean, that's where I see it going. But good news. Our guest is going to jump on actually, but
Oh, okay.
uh, let's finish. Let's finish off this album, and then we'll do his album, and when he comes on, then talk about him a little bit, and then he can give us top
Yeah.
five and tell us what he thought of our albums. So, uh, yeah,
Yeah.
I
Definitely.
I ranked all the songs in this out. I ranked all the songs in my album because I had to, because there was 11, but still I had to. I couldn't leave any of them off. But my honorable mentions are Moonstruck, Bizarre Bizarre, which Bizarre Bizarre is a really freaky song. I enjoy the hell out of it. It was the last single to release, and I literally watched the video as it premiered on YouTube at 10 a.m. on Thursday morning last week. Uh, is another album mention I had. Uh, Tina Guo, or however you say her name. Really freaking amazing violin player. Or not violin, the big one. Oh, I don't know.
Cello.
I can't think what the fuck it's called. A cello. Regular cello player. Yeah, regular cello player. And that song is just kind of like creepy and almost like has Wednesday vibes to it. Dreams Are Never Alone is my next honorable mention. I I like the lyrics in that song a lot, and it's perfect for him. He nailed that song 100% lyrically and vocally. My next song I want to mention was "Damage," like that line, "The damage I did to my soul." Like that song is just beautiful. And my number six, last song I mentioned was "Lords of Fire." It's almost War King reminiscent. That song. I know it's because Fewer Swans is on it. And I mean, I actually add them to my artists to check out list on Spotify because I want to
They're
check them
really good.
out. They seem
Normally,
pretty freaking awesome.
they're really
So
good.
I when
Normally,
I heard that song a month,
it's actually the first song I've actually.
when I heard
Go ahead. Sorry.
fucking freezing. No, it was freezing. That's why. Because every time I would say something like it wouldn't come to you till like 5 seconds later. But uh, yeah, they're on my list to check out because they seem like a band I'd really like.
That's actually the first song I've ever heard them do that's in English. Normally their shit's like 99% German.
Oh.
So it kind of shocked me that
Oh.
they were in English. So,
maybe that's why.
Oh, that was new.
Okay, maybe that's why I haven't checked them out yet. But my number 5 was My Sanctuary. Like the darkness, My Sanctuary. Like the video for it is really freaking awesome, and I love his voice in it. Like that's another one where his voice is meant for it. And my number 4 is I Will Die in It. Like that whole chorus of I wasn't born in love, but I will die in it. Like it's phenomenal. Like that was the first single to release off this album, and I fell in love with that song immediately. My number 3, which I'm sure is in your two songs you picked, but my number 3, they just released it. I actually messaged you when they released it like a week or two ago. It's Light Can Only Shine in the Darkness because it has Within Temptation on it, and him and her together is just phenomenal. Like I love the two of them together; their voices match each other perfectly. But my number 2 was The Things We Do for Love. I think that's that's an amazing song. It actually took me a few listens to really grow on me because they didn't release that to the album release, but it took a few listens to really get into that. But I love that song. That song is a beautiful song. And my number 1, which surprised me because I didn't know my number 1 was going to be when I listened to this today for like the 5th time. I didn't know my number 1 was going to be because I couldn't decide originally. But my number 1 has to be The Sadness and Everything. Tale of Time, I never heard of them, but apparently they only released one album so far. But I will be listening to them as well because they impressed the shit out of me on that song. Like I was really impressed by Tales of Time, so I wanted to just I have to go check them out more. That song blew me away. The Sadness and Everything is just an amazing freaking song. Oh, and Perfect Timing because that's my top 11 I guess for that album. But
Hey,
our guest is here.
I am so sorry, guys. For some reason, when I signed up for the event, it's kept it in 9 p.m. East Central Time for me. So I just got even the alarm on my Podmatch calendar. I don't know why. I when you texted me, "Hey, are you coming?" I'm like, "What? It's in 15 minutes. What's going on?" So I can't apologize enough. I'm so sorry.
It's cool. Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, it happens. Dude, it happens. The fact that you can actually get on now and I mean, yeah. I mean, the fact you can get on now and actually do the episode is awesome.
Oh, I've been looking forward to this podcast.
And if I don't pronounce this right, sorry, I didn't get a chance to talk to him beforehand.
No, I've actually really been looking forward to this. I've been listening to those albums. I have notes. Like I watched a bunch of your guys' stuff. I really enjoyed the format, and it's just I'm mad at myself and that maybe I didn't like I don't know. There's probably a setting in Podmatch I have to fix that won't do that in the future. But no, I'm glad that I'm still able to jump on because I liked both of the albums that you recommended to listen to a lot, and I have some cool notes on them. And it's kind of reminds me of something we do at the studio where we do these listening assignments with all of our interns, and we make them kind of do like kind of similar, you know, their favorite songs and what they're hearing in the songs and everything. So it's just a super cool thing to do.
All right, he'll be right back. He's going to try to get a better connection. He's having issues. But anyways, we are glad to have you, and I will say that I'm glad you're here because we were going to do the show actually and wait to do your record, but I was really looking forward to doing your record. So.
Oh, nice. I'm loving the posters in the background too, by the way.
Yeah, I actually, believe it or not, I have my own studio.
Oh, awesome.
Most people can't see it, but if I spin it around,
okay, cool.
I have multiple computers, and I have a $3,000 brick that sits over there and doesn't.
Of course,
because
I'm a gearhead myself, so I'm familiar.
I am actually going through a bachelor's program for music production and media communications.
Oh, great! Where at?
LA Film School.
Cool.
And they sent me this really awesome MacBook, but I don't use it because I don't like Mac, and I have been doing music production on Reaper and Sony Acid for so long that Logic Pro and Pro Tools are just kind of fucking annoying to me. Pro Tools takes 37 steps to do something that I can do in 4 steps in Reaper.
I can, as long as you're not a pro. So I learned on Pro Tools. I hate Pro Tools. I am Logic certified, so I'm a big Logic guy. I just got my master's. I love Logic. I just got my master's at Southern Utah. So when you're done your bachelor's, check them out because they do the same program Berkeley has, but for like 100,000 less. So nice. It's a really good program. But yeah, I do like Reaper. Everybody keeps trying to get me to move to Reaper, but I've just done so many projects on Logic. I don't see myself ever making that switch.
It's one of them things, man. Like it comes down to how serious you take the shit.
Right.
Like if you're producing for Dre and M and that level of people, then yes, absolutely Pro Tools, way to go. If you're producing on a mid-level, Cubase, there's a few you can whatever. But if you're doing what I'm doing, which is my friends who are local hip hop artists, they're coming in. We're doing some horrorcore shit, for a 6-pack of Budweiser and a couple tacos. It ain't that fucking serious, So I mean, we're recording shit with like Muck Sticky and shit like that, So.
I'm not sure if you had a chance to. So wait, are you in LA?
No, I'm actually in the Detroit area.
You're in Detroit. Okay, so that explains the project that you
yes.
you did with the. Did you record any of that?
No, I wish.
Okay, because I knew King Gordy. My buddy Ill Temper's in a group with him, the Even Heathens.
Yes.
Yeah, so he's on. I'm not sure if you got a chance to look up any of like the stuff like the Mars Now ciphers. Yeah, so I know a lot of those guys. Like we've been doing those for almost 15 years, and I've
worked with a bunch of different people from Detroit, but it's always been more of a expensive hobby,
right?
Than to take it serious, and it kind of got to a point where I went through this brutal divorce, and I spent my entire life savings to get.
I've been there myself.
And I thought, I just spent all my fucking money, and I got sole custody of my son now. Maybe I should take this shit serious and actually get a degree so that I could show it to somebody and be like, hey, I actually know what the fuck I'm doing other than if you look up this local group or this local group, I helped do this. But I can get like real shit and do the social media stuff. And I'm leaning more towards the media communication stuff than the music stuff.
Right.
But I am getting some music stuff in there just so that I can get better at what I'm doing. And I think he's like just having connection problems, but
It happens.
It does. But yeah, so
maybe both of us aren't allowed on at the same time. That's that's how.
no, normally he doesn't have any problems.
I'm just joking since I was late and he's now having connection issues.
He was having them before you got here. So.
Okay, good. That makes me feel a little better. No, but you should. You know what? If you ever want to do some stuff, man, like as far as like hip hop stuff, I'll send some stuff your way. I got a lot of people down in Detroit that I know.
So here's the thing. I am 54 years old, and I am in the process. I have played in metal bands. I've done country. I've done random shit throughout my career from the age of 15 up until I had my kids in 93. At 93, I kind of dropped out of the music business, and I did a lot of other shit and just thought, okay, I got to take this serious and make some money. Now I'm 54 years old, and I'm in the process of recording my first solo record.
Okay.
The problem is I have like 35 songs, and there are about 14 different genres. So I have 3 or 4 country songs. I have about 6 hip hop songs that are varying in somewhere between Sugar Cane and Scarface.
Nice.
I have some that are rap and metal mix. I have a couple that are punk songs. One called Eat Shit and Live to Taste It. It's a running joke because we were sitting around one night and a buddy said, eat shit and die. And I was like, fuck you, eat shit and live to taste it. So turned into a punk song. I've got just this random eclectic type of songs. And I've talked to people and said, hey, I want to record this. And it's the same response from everybody. You can't do this. Why? You can't put 12 genres on a single record.
Oh, that's not true. You can do whatever you want.
You can. You're not going to win a Grammy doing it. And I have no grand illusions that I'm ever going to win a fucking Grammy because I'm a shitty singer. But you know what? I want this just because these are gremlins that have been in my head since the 90s. These are ideas and shit that,
I love it, man. I mean, several of my projects are like that, where I'll have things all over the table. We'll have like really hard guitar parts with trap beats on top of them, and we'll have like punk rock songs and Americana. Oh, I've been noticing. I love it.
There's Prince, there's Iron Maiden, there's Bob Marley, there's Metallica, there's Pink Floyd. I do every fucking thing, man. Like my musical tastes are just schizophrenic as shit. So
if you could see my first big song we ever recorded was an exclusive song for Hip Hop DX with Kendrick Lamar and J-Rock and DJ No Frills and Microphone Tone. It was so that I have that poster up, and then I also have a Nina Simone poster. I'm all over the place too, man. Like I grew up, I got into hip hop because I was a punk rock kid, and I used to just order records out of the Epitaph catalog. And one day, there you go. One day, they had a Sage Francis record, and I'm like, I thought it was another punk album, and the vinyl came in, and it changed my life. It was like punk rock lyrics over these hip hop beats. And immediately, it was one of his first ones. I think it might have been Healthy Distrust, like one of his first solo ones after he left the group. And it just really got me super into it. Right after that, I went and bought It's Dark and Hell is Hot on cassette. And so it's like I just dove right in from there. And then, being from Philly, all the local, Jedi Mind Tricks and all that stuff. Like I just started going in on that. My first hip hop show was Jedi Mind Tricks, Reef the Lost Cause, and Sean Price. And
fucking love Reef. Reef is one of the nicest guys.
I love Reef too. He's been on some of our ciphers. I've known him since I was a 15-year-old kid. And
fucking love that dude.
Great
one
guy.
One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. What he's doing with his son, dude, is just I love it. Phenomenal, bro. Like it's
He's one of the best. That really inspired. I told him this story before too. He told me it made him feel old. But that when I'm 15 years old, and I'm at this show, and I went up and started talking to him. He was probably 20 something, and he was just like super cool. He had time for a 15-year-old kid to talk to him, and now I've had him at my studio. I've recorded him. I've had him on ciphers. I've drove around with him, performed with him, and it's like that's really cool, and he's still just as gracious as he ever was, and just like, and he doesn't have to be because he's the man. No. So I love Reef. But yeah, all that to say, do what you want to do. You know what I mean? Like, it's great.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, that's the whole point. Like, if I have to release this shit one single at a fucking time individually, that is what I will do.
Hell yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'm going to release this record, and it's going to be titled "The Menial Mumblings of a Musical Madman."
I like that.
It's just because, and I had that title years before, Jeremy, before I was ever with this. So the fact that I ended up on the show,
I know.
No, it's funny. I've thought about it. Like,
I wasn't going to. I wasn't.
No, like the fact that I ended up on a show called Maniacal Musings, when I had the title "The Menial Mumblings of a Musical Madman" since like '93, it's just
that was fate. Yeah, exactly. It's fate.
But anyways, this is
exactly.
Jeremy.
Well, yes, yes. And sorry, my internet's being fucking horrible tonight. I might need to get my laptop looked at. I don't fucking know. But ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to introduce on the show, and if I pronounce this right, we can get talk before the show, so don't blame me. But introducing Steve Sxaks.
Hey, you got it. Yeah.
I hope I got it right. But
you did.
Fuck yeah. Thank you, Podmatch. But punk rocker, audio engineer, and as you can tell, music lover. So we wanted to get him on, and the fact that he can come on so fast when we had a rescheduling to do, it freaking saved our ass, and he surprised us both with what he wanted to bring. But we're going to do this episode a little bit differently. Usually we do the guest album first. Me and CJ already did our albums technically, for the most part. So
I haven't given you my.
We're gonna have
that I chose.
I know. I'm gonna hold off on that for a minute. I'm gonna let Steve tell us what he thought about your album first, CJ. And why don't you tell him what album you brought, CJ, so he knows which one he's talking about.
I again, Aztek the Barfly, the Line King,
right?
One of his 4 records that he's done. He has the new group that I didn't know about, Massa Moon, which was Big Left. How that flew past my radar. Not one of my friends in Detroit fucking bothered to step up and say, "Hey, Tech has a new fucking record, or a new group." Thanks, guys. Yeah, that's Aztek the Barfly, the Line King.
Well, as we were kind of talking about it a little bit already when you were having your technical difficulties, and I took some notes on it. I really like this record a lot. And again, if anybody is familiar with me, they know what we've done with the ciphers, and it's just kind of right up my alley. So is it cool if I read off some of my notes, or should I just go off the cusp a little bit? So my favorite songs, my number one, I really liked Fair Warning. I love that one. I thought it was the beat, it just like brought that like 90s East Coast New York feel. It kind of reminded me of something Cool G Rap would rap on.
Nice.
So and the features really added a lot of contrast vocally. Like they just all, it worked together perfectly, but everybody had a different voice and a different element to bring to it. So Fair Warning was my number one. I like that. And then the Overture. I really like the Overture. I don't know if since I missed the first part of this, I'm not sure if we have overlapping favorite songs, but
Overture is my number one. So
That was
yeah.
your number one. I mean, I put that one because of the King Gordy feature mainly, and I was mentioning earlier, Ill Temper is one of
Yep.
our boys. He's been on a couple ciphers and great guy, and so him and King Gordy are in a group together. And when I heard King Gordy's voice, instantly, I wasn't even looking at it. I was cooking my kids dinner as I'm having this album play yesterday, and I'm like, oh, that's Gordy. So I was just instantly that one grabbed me.
I made the comment that only King Gordy could get away with rapping from the viewpoint of a gay prostitute.
Yeah, it's very few who could pull that off.
Like it just as he was rapping it, I was like, "The fuck is he rap?" I was like, "What the fuck, bro?" And then it was like, "It's so Gordy. Like if you know Gordy, like it's so Gordy that it's just it's so great that
it's you being into horrorcore stuff. I'm actually supposed to perform at the She-Fest, the Night of the Shrunken Heads in San Antonio in October. It's like a big horrorcore festival. My really good friend Draco, he's very in that scene, and I did an album with him, so I'm going down there with him for that.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever heard of the Michigan Misfits.
Michigan Misfits. I'm not sure.
Jackson and Body Rot. They perform with all kinds of people, but
cool.
I work with them pretty
nice. Yeah, I'm telling. We're gonna do some work together.
We just did a song with Muck Sticky.
Okay.
So it's kind of it's a Muck Sticky.
We're doing some work together after this. I'm not letting you off the hook. We're doing something. All right,
yeah.
but after that, Blackout. It was that sample. I love the like soulful sample in Blackout. As soon as that came on, I think I ran that song back maybe 3 or 4 times. It's just chef's kiss.
It has Fat Father on it. Fat Father's another one who's fucking outstanding.
Yeah. The features on that one were great. Then I'm trying to fly through it since I kind of am behind. I don't want to go too slow. But Ricky Pierce, that I loved Ricky Pierce because it was like a Bond. It was like a James Bond movie scene. Like so I just when that one came on, I think I ran that one back a couple times too.
That has my favorite line of his in it, where he says, "I'm what math problems have in their head. I'm a fucking problem." I was like, first time I heard that, I'm like, God, I wish I would have wrote that fucking line. That's such a badass fucking line.
Then I also loved "Good to Be Home." And that one I liked because it really just had that Griselda kind of feel to it. Like I could hear Benny on that one. And Benny's another guy I know who's just like he would destroy that beat too. And honorably I put Nightmare Trucks because that one's hard. That one was just hard. My whole thing with the album as an engineer, I can't get into an album if it's sonically not pleasing. So it's like the album was mixed great. It was a really great recording. Everything sounded good. You could tell everybody, put a lot of work into it. So the whole album was great, but those were my 5 plus my honorable mention. And again, sorry for speeding up. I'm trying to catch up to you guys.
You're good, brother. You're good.
All good. All right. So yeah, the album we were discussing when you came on was the album I decided to bring because, as I told CJ, it didn't matter what fucking album the guest is bringing this week. I knew the release date for this album months ago, and I said the show after this releases, I'm bringing it the fuck on because it's one of my newfound loves in music. And so, yeah, I brought the Lord of the Lost Opus Noir Volume 1 album.
Did you guys already go over this one too, or did I?
He went over his picks. I didn't go over mine.
Okay. Not you, Kim. So, but as the guest, I want to hear your opinion first anyway, since CJ kind of disappointed me with his.
Okay. So, I'm gonna start off and say this reminded me like my first girlfriend used to really be into like Nocturne and going into all those kind of like industrial metal raves and stuff. So, was Crooks of Shadows, or I kind of forget all these bands, but I've seen it. Really just brought me back to like 2004. So I appreciated it from that point a lot. But my first one that I liked was Damage. I really like Damage. The breakdown into the like softer industrial and orchestral parts were crazy. And then the transition back into the heavier parts was just like so clean. I love that. That was
He,
awesome.
he's a master at that.
Yeah,
He's a master at that.
it was sick. I really thought that was awesome. Next was Ghosts. And honestly, the thing that grabbed me with
Mm-hmm.
Ghosts was just the intro keys. That just immediately just was like, whoa, this is like haunting almost. And then I wrote in my notes, what were you saying? What were you saying? Sorry, I
If
didn't
you
mean to cut
watch
you
the
off.
video, watch the video. The music video for it is freaking like so goth. It's not even funny, but it's him and it's him and Tina Gao playing like cellos together throughout the whole song.
I love that. I wrote in my notes, this is what Davey Havoc wishes he sounded like. So I'm not sure if you've heard the new AFI where Davey looks like Bob Ross, but
No.
he's trying really hard to have this kind of vocal range. I just thought that was funny. It actually reminded me when I read that. Then next third, I'd say I Will Die in It. Immediately the orchestra and the heavy guitar, it just was like punishing, but then just like holy almost. I can't that's how it was, like punishingly holy with that orchestra and just the riffs.
That's a theme in a lot of his music. Like it goes back and forth. And I mean that was one of the first singles they released for this album was that song, and it was like I think it was actually the first video he released for this album because he loves his music videos. But
I love
like the music video for it is so fucking dark. Like I fucking love it. Like it's just he is. I mean, to me, he's my. I just found him 2 months ago for the first time randomly because he did a Powerwolf song, but he is literally one of my favorite artists of all time. Now he's just such a creative. He's such a creative.
I ended up grabbing both of these albums on Bandcamp too, because as an artist, I try to support other artists. But I when I was looking them both up, I found that they both had Bandcamp, so I definitely copped them. Let me see. So next, I had My Sanctuary, and I really like this one because it just reminded me of like honestly, it kind of reminded me of like a bad '80s action movie. It just had that kind of like upbeat, just synth heavy powerhouse kind of thing going on. I liked it a lot. But yeah, I could see it being in like a I'm trying to remember what it's called. It was like that movie where the guy goes back in time to kill Hitler and he's like riding raptors with lasers on their heads. I don't know if you guys
I don't know that one, but I'm interested now.
I'm gonna look it up before the end of the show and tell you the name of it. But this song could have been in that movie. They had like David Hasselhoff like came and did like did the whole soundtrack for it, but it had that kind of vibe, just like synth forward, real heavy stuff. That was My Sanctuary, and then my last one was Lord of Fire. The intro riff was awesome. The chorus was really catchy, simple, and powerful. Like it was probably the most catchy of the choruses. Obviously, I mean, it's like it was pretty easy to grasp, but I found myself just singing it while I'm walking around. And then also they had the doom growl in there that was just vicious. I loved the doom growl. And,
yeah.
And then it broke down
CJ
into like a Middle Earth Hobbit dancing scene right after the doom growl. So all of that spoke to me.
Yeah, I was telling CJ that guest he had on that song, Fewer Schwantz, or however that would pronounce the name. Mm-hmm. I want to go listen to their other albums. Like apparently none of them are in English, but I want to go listen to their other albums because it's just like they're just like a lot of my favorite like fantasy metal bands. So I 100% got to check them out.
Remember Dark Side of the Moon when I brought him on with Melissa? The guitar player for Dark Side of the Moon is basically the guy behind Fewer Schwantz. So.
Okay, that makes a little bit of sense.
To throw this out there, just to add to the My Sanctuary song, the movie was called Kung Fury. It came out a couple of years ago.
I've never.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like just a straight up like this guy goes back in time to kill Hitler and he rides dinosaurs and goes through like all the eras.
The only way you can make that description better is if it's Sam Elliott
No, if Sam Elliott did it, I would actually like pay for the movie right now. That'd be awesome. A Sam Elliott Hitler killing movie sounds great.
Well, he was. In
they did that. It's called the
Man Who Killed Bigfoot.
The Man Who Killed Hitler and then the Bigfoot. Yeah, the Man Who Killed Hitler and then the Bigfoot.
That's my list right now. I don't think I've seen that one.
I got it on Netflix DVD like 7 years ago when it came out, and because it was a Bigfoot movie and it was Sam Elliott.
How did I miss this?
And it was not advertised at all.
It's a different kind of Sam Elliott.
It was. Oh, it is, but it's almost like a James Bond mixed with like paranormal movie, which is kind of fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of Sam Elliott movie. Maybe the name of my next album, because that was just such a. I'm stealing it from. It's a different kind of Sam Elliott movie. That is awesome. I just added it. I'm definitely getting this immediately.
Oh, it's definitely worth a watch. But
it is
DJ.
Really yes,
I'm dying to hear. DJ, what were your two songs that you were able to like off Lord of the Lost until you hear this album multiple times?
So the second of the one is Damage, because I love Death Stars. Death Stars, there were two other bands that are similar to Lord of the Lost that I love and adore. One is Death Stars. The other is a band called the Latex Twins. Or Latex Teens. I'm sorry, Latex Teens. 3 S's at the end of Latex. And the fact that Death Stars is on this record or was on this song, it gave it a good balance. The singer of Death Stars is sort of like the Peter Steele version of Chris, essentially. He's got that long dark hair and he's very gothic looking and could easily play a really nasty vampire in a good movie. But the main one was because it has Sharon on it. Light can only shine in the darkness.
I know it.
Yeah, Sharon Van Adel is one of the most gorgeous women walking the face of the earth, and she's a phenomenal fucking singer. And if you ever listen to her talk, she has like this almost perfect English, but you can still hear her Dutch accent in it. And it's so she's just she's a goddess. Like she is everything about Sharon is
I 100% support this statement. 100%. 100% support this statement.
And she's really a sweetheart woman too. She's so kind and gentle with her fans, that I really respect her a lot as well. I mean, I make the remark that she's beautiful, but it's not really other than the fact that she's really fucking beautiful. She could easily be like a Broadway type of star, if Sharon wanted to switch gears, she could easily be the next Sarah Brightman. And probably not even break a sweat doing it.
Oh God, yeah. God, yeah. She would be a natural at that shit.
Yeah. So that was instantly going to be my favorite song even before I heard it. It ended up being the song that I connected with. And as I stated before, it's not that I don't like this record. I think it's going to be like Antagony, the first record or whatever the second record was. It's just going to take me a few listens to catch everything and sort of connect to it. And
well, yeah,
part of it, Steve will understand too. A year ago, I listened to everything as a music fan. Now that I'm doing what I'm doing, I listen to it as the guy who understands production now. So shit that I liked a year ago, I listen to now and be like, ooh, yeah, that could have done that different. You should have tweaked that. That could have used an auxiliary on it. And you pick up little things that normally listen to. So,
Well, I mean,
yeah,
like I said, I've been listening to these singles for weeks now and
right.
months, and watching the videos on repeat, basically. Like, so I've heard a lot of different aspects of this song that I didn't like Ghost the first time I heard it, but it took me a few
Really,
listens to really get
still
into it.
don't
And then
like Ghost.
I start
I still don't like Ghost. There's just something about Ghost that I cannot get into, and I
no,
think
no,
it's a
no, no,
mental block.
the song, the
Oh,
song,
I'm
CJ,
sorry.
not the band.
That made
My
my
bad.
list. I loved it when I heard it.
My bad. I thought you were talking about the band.
It
I'll shut the fuck up.
I liked it when I heard. I liked it when I heard it, Steve, but it was just like it took a few listens to really start loving it. Like it took a few listens to really start like getting it. I had to hear every aspect of it. Like at first, I was just like, "Is he doing like a tribute to Wednesday?" Like that seemed what the video was. But I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, he's a funny motherfucker. If you watch like his behind the scenes shit on YouTube, he is a funny motherfucker to like hang around with. Like he shows it off in some of the videos for his Blood and Glitter album that I brought on last time I brought him on the show. But like he's a funny motherfucker when he actually is like him being himself. So I mean, if you never actually heard of Lord of the Lost, like I would definitely check out a lot of his previous stuff. He's done a lot of. He's been around for like 15 years. He's done a lot of great shit. So, but I mean, I just went down that rabbit hole, and I am so happy I did. It opened my mind to so many more music acts out there I never knew existed. So, gotta love fucking European metal. You never stop finding more.
Yeah, when you find good European metal, it's
But
fun to explore. There was a band you guys might have heard of them. Kind of
oh
forget their name, but they do Metallica covers, but it's all a cappella. And they have guys who do the instruments with their voice.
You're talking about Van Canto.
Von Canto, yeah,
Yeah.
like that.
oh
Those videos, Von Canto videos, are so fun to watch for some reason.
Dude, they do Iron Maiden, Manowar.
Oh, it's so fun.
They do freaking all kinds of shit. They
Yeah,
do
their voice guitarist is
Yeah.
amazing. Like he just nails the tone of like every guitar. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them, but
Fear of the dark. Yeah, they do really great.
I'm so shocked you knew that. No one ever knows that. I'll describe that, and they're like, "What are you talking?" That's
you will learn that
I
people think my fucking the music god thing is like some weird thing. It's literal, bro. Like it's literal.
well, Steve, I know we're all dying to get to this moment. So, what album did you want to bring on our show? Because we're dying to get to this.
So I wanted to bring Manchester Orchestra's Simple Math. And the reason originally I was going to come on here and play some of my music, but I just didn't think that was the best way to get to know you guys, right? And I always, whenever we have new interns, when we do our first listening assignment, we do Simple Math because I truly believe that this is like one of the best like engineered projects of all time. Like it's a top 10, like the engineering on the project. Not talking about musicianship, or I'm just talking about engineering specifically. The engineering on here is incredible, and I think it's a great teaching tool whenever I have interns. And I genuinely love this album. I've listened to it so many times. I just thought it was kind of fitting to come on here and get to know you guys with this. So yeah, it's Manchester Orchestra Simple Math. Should I go into the list or?
Hold off on that because we like to. I let you do the other two because we already kind of this format tonight is kind of backwards from how we usually do it. But I hold off on that for now because I'm gonna let CJ, since you went first tonight anyway. I'm gonna let you give your review of this because I know you're dying to. Since I mean I already saw it on Facebook, but he's not on your Facebook, so he couldn't see it.
So this was a band I was not familiar with, and it's so rare that I come across a band that I haven't heard or at least seen their name.
Right.
So when I saw Manchester Orchestra, I thought, okay, it's going to be like classical music. So I looked them up, and it was like, okay, it's not classical music. Cool. From the opening moments of this record, I was like, okay, this is not what you would expect from the name at all. by the second and third song, my brain was just like, okay, this might be the best Blue October record that Blue October never recorded. And I am a massive fucking Blue October fan. Justin is like my freaking, you know, it is my dream to be in a room with that man to tell him what he means as a songwriter and a person and his story and everything. And this record is fucking outstanding. Like, I am literally blown away how great this record is, musically, sonically, the highs and lows of it, the flow. I have not been this impressed with a new artist, and it's not really a new artist because they've been around a while. But a new artist to me, I've not been in this impressed with someone since I discovered Youngblood about 8 years ago. So thank you for bringing this to my attention. And
I'm glad that I did. I'm glad that I didn't just bring one of mine, because I love that.
I like what you did too. I was listening to your stuff. So
look, trust me, Manchester is like, I've seen them live a ton of times too, and they're incredible live. One of the best I've seen. I'm sure both of you have as well, like hundreds and hundreds of bands at this point. But
I've seen thousands of shows.
Right, exactly. I mean, I've toured, and I've been touring since I was 15. I've been playing shows since I was 12. Probably the band I've seen more than any other band in the world is the Bouncing Souls. I've probably seen them 30 times. But Manchester, I've probably seen 5 times, and just one of the most incredible live band. Like, some of the stuff that they do live is just like mind-blowing. So, and again, like I was saying, I think that it's just such a great teachable record for new engineers, because they do like some of like the reverse reverbs and some of like the swelling cymbals and stuff that they do is just like, it's some pretty high level stuff, but it's really noticeable on the record. And when I've used it to teach kids, you know, as an engineer, you're creating the environment that the audience is listening to, right? So you really have the most important but least appreciated job in the album's process. Whatever you decide to do could make or break how that record ends up being. And, you know, you're picking what component of the album you want to be the star. So do you really focus on the drums? Do you really focus on the voice? What are you pushing forward for the audience to hear first and like really focus on? And I love that in this record, a lot of times, I mean, yeah, the drums are always there, and the guitar can be the star, and the vocals are definitely the star a lot of times. But sometimes it's not even musical elements that are the star. It's that reverse reverb in Simple Math that just leads to this big crash. And yeah, so I love this record. I'm glad you appreciated it.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not gonna get on my knees and suck this album off like G did, but but at the end of the day, I mean, I thought the same thing. I saw Manchester Orchestra, and I was like, oh, what the fuck? This is gonna be some classical shit or something like that. And like I actually like gave it a few listens, like a few. I gave it a few seconds here and there, like in different songs, to see what it was, and it still sounded like classical to me at that point. So I was like, okay, I'm like I knew what I was bringing anyway, so I really didn't even care too much what you were bringing, because I was like, all right, I'm gonna do what I want to do regardless on this one. But I actually listened to the album in full today, and I was blown away by how much I actually liked it. And I never heard of this band either. I mean, that name has never come across my eyes in the last 30-something years of my life. So I'm like, okay, I will say I like the first half of the album was a lot better than the rest of it, but I was able to get into it, and like I found a lot of songs I added to my like list. It almost reminded me of like a mix of ska and all the bands in the American Pie movies together.
Okay. That
Like,
whole
that's what I
like
got out of it.
90s pop punk ska wave. I know the genre. They're every album, if you do want to check more of their
like
stuff, every single album is different, like vastly different. The recording is
okay,
different.
that's
The music structure is way
that's
different. Yeah, it's interesting. They do one album called
interesting.
Cope. They had one called Cope that was really, really heavy, and then they did an album called Hope where they did all the same songs from Cope, but they took all the instruments out and just did it like a cappella with like a choir and some weird synths. And it's just like it's crazy, man. I'm telling you, it's just like a really wild contrast, but it's really good. So
it's a
that's
concept.
the type of shit I hate when they do. Like Lord
that makes it even cooler.
Lord of the Lost did the same thing. Like, I mean,
I appreciate
Lord of the
it
Lost
as an
did the same
engineer.
thing with his Swan Song albums. Like he did like Swan Symphonies, like for his Swan Song albums, and like it was kind of like, nah, man, nah. But I would check it out. Honestly, I would check more. I would check more of them out. Like I honestly would. They impressed me. They really impressed me with this album. I'm not gonna say it was like one of my favorite albums of all time, but I definitely respect it for what it is, and I found some new songs I like. So there you go.
So what was your top 5? I'm curious to hear it.
Well, we let the guests do their top 5 first, especially for their album.
That's
So
fair. That's fair. So my top 5, my number 1 on this album I think is Virgin. I love the choir with the kids. It's haunting. The guitar is just super heavy, but the vocals are really just, light. And then the song, when it really picks up and the whole thing gets really heavy with the choir going, and then they have the like Western instrument outro. It's just like I love that song. I think Virgin's awesome. Pale Black Eye would be my number 2. Another just really good. I love the vocals on Pale Black Eye, and the chorus is just super. It's just a catchy one. Pensacola is another one. I love the end, like kind of vocal chanting that they do. Apprehension. I love Apprehension. My apprehension got the best
love a
of
good
me.
chant.
What was that?
I love a good chant.
Oh yeah, I love it. Again, punk rock kid. I love a chant. The delay, the delay got me there. I couldn't hear you. I was like, oh. And then my final one that I really like is Simple Math. And again, for me, I'm kind of like with you on the other album. The video sold me the most on Simple Math. I don't know if either of you watched the video, but it's really, really cool. They do like the whole song takes place in like a 30-second car crash, but just like going through his head and what's happening, and the whole band's in the car and they're just flying out of the car. It's pretty cool. Kind of like one of those like very just like moving videos when you watch the whole thing. So yeah, and again, from an engineering standpoint, it's just such an awesome mix. Just the mix is great. The stuff that the engineer chose to do with some of the reverbs and stuff is just it's really, really just a cool song. But yeah, that's my top 5 for this particular album.
Well, I am really excited to get to my top 5 now, but CJ, you get to go first.
Honorable mention is Mighty. I like that song, but it fell just outside of the other 5. Number 5 is Virgin. I like the mix of Virgin, and I like the sort of, I like the kid voices on it, and it's got a cool kind of a groove to it. Like it's a different kind of groove, almost like a slow burn type of groove. Number 4, April Fool.
It's a great one.
Love that song. I wrote Blue October meets Hotel Books. It has that Blue October music style, but vocally, he really kind of does almost a Dan Dan Smith thing from Hotel Books. Like dear non-believers, blah blah blah. Number 3 is Leaky Breaks. Cool song. Number 2, Pensacola. That's to me the best Blue October song that they never wrote. That song could have been on Argue with Trees. Like it just screams Blue October. But number 1 is Simple Math, because that to me sounded like if Blue October did a Pink Floyd song. It has that Floyd vibe to it. It has that I don't really know how to describe it, but it has that spacey big feel like a Floyd song has.
Yeah.
The production on it is really, as the kids say, it's a vibe. But it also has that sort of modern rock feel as well. And like you say, it has just a lot of little production tricks that, most people would miss. And it really kind of jumps out as a song that is sort of bigger than the sum of its parts. It's learning that it's a concept record makes a lot of sense. Like I didn't get it being a concept record listening to it. But as the flow of it goes, my brain is kind of thinking now, yeah, it does kind of have a concept to it. I definitely will be listening to other stuff they do, just because I like these guys a lot, and I'm always looking for new artists. I do so much metal and pop punk and hip hop that I love when I find something that's a little bit outside of those boxes, and maybe something I can listen to at night when I go to sleep, or can just kind of let my brain decompress to something that isn't as fast or as heavy or like beat heavy. So yeah, that's my list.
This is a good list.
Well, it's funny. You both kind of hit my top 5, but like Steve hit the first half of my top 5, and CJ hit the second half, kind of. In almost exactly the same order too, which is the funniest fuck shit. But my number 5 is 100% Leaky Breaks. I just thought it was a great way to end the album, and the fact that it's a concept album, I didn't realize that either. But the fact that it's a concept album kind of like makes sense with that ending. My number 4 was April Fool. I enjoyed the fuck out of April Fool. It was a good song. My number 3 was Mighty, because I really that was the first song I really dug. I was like, all right, I can get into this now. This is like ska kind of. I can dig this song. And I'm not even a fan. I'm not really a fan of ska even, but there's certain ska songs that are popular that I like. Like Real Big Fishes Sell Out. Like I like that song, but I don't like anything else they do. And then this is where you'll love it, Steve. My number 2 was Pale Black Eye.
That's a great one.
Something about the instrumentals, or something in that song I really just got into. And my number 1 was Virgin, because that was 100% the best track on the album. It had so many elements in it that I would have to go back and listen to it like probably 20 times to get everything out of it. Really, like I had to rush through these. I had to rush through these albums today. I didn't at the time. I usually had to really take them slow. I listened to every fucking track, of course, and all the albums, but it just I finished CJ's while I was driving, and I listened to mine while I was driving, which I've heard it 6 times now, so that's not a big deal. But I gave your album the first shot today because I wanted to have the most time for your album just to make sure. Because I'm I never heard of this band. I need to give them the full experience. But yeah, those are my top 5. Virgin is definitely my favorite song I've heard by them so far. I definitely will be checking out other shit they did because I'm interested, especially now that you said they have a heavier album. I want to hear their heavier shit.
Yeah, so, Virgin has a really cool music video too. But yeah, they're heavier. The album that followed this one was Cope, and that had 2 of the songs on Cope have some punishing guitar like just very heavy stuff. And then their newest album is lighter than this one. It's like a little more whimsical. So they're all over the place. Their first album is almost like punk rock, like it's very punk rock indie kind of vibe, and then they've just every single album is so different. It's almost like listening to a different band to every album, which I appreciate.
Love that.
I do too. It keeps it interesting.
Which I honestly have a band I want to recommend to you, but I'm going to hold off on that because we definitely need to get you back on this show and just make sure we have the timing right. That because I would love to hear more about. It's already getting late, but next time I definitely want to hear more about your career in music as well. Just because that's usually how we start off the show. But obviously tonight things got a little helter skelter. It's. I usually write East. I might not at this time. Shit happens. I look back the messages to like see if I did or not.
You very well might have.
So
you very well might have wrote East, but for some reason when I added it to the events, it still said 9 o'clock my time. So it's something I think that happened there, but I take 100% of the blame and responsibility. I should have triple and quadruple checked it because I've been looking all day. So I do apologize. I really was looking forward to this, and I'm glad I still got to jump on and be on for like an hour or so. I loved both of the albums. I'm definitely gonna keep listening to them.
Yeah, well, we appreciate that, and like I said, we'll definitely I'll shoot you a message over the next couple of days. We'll definitely get you on again, probably in October-ish, but we'll get you on again definitely.
I have an album coming out
but for now,
a couple days. That'll be the one I bring next time.
Oh, fuck yeah! I mean, it doesn't make you a narcissist to bring your own album on this show. That's for fucking sure. But but tell the people, Steve, where can they find you? Where can they find your music if they want to check it out?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to find me, I'm at Steve Sxaks on pretty much everything. You could find my music pretty much anywhere as Steve Sxaks. And if you want to get in touch with me, you can just go to either stevesxaks.com or letsgoguy.com. And if you're interested in grabbing my novel, The Invasion of the Punk Rockers Who Drink Blood, which is music. It's a book about music and vampires. Can't go wrong. That is, just Google it. It'll pop right up, or shoot me an email. I'll send you a signed copy or something. But I'll talk to any, if you get in touch with me, I'll have a hour-long conversation with you. I'm sure you guys saw it. I'm a talker, so hit me up. And for you guys, I'd love to collaborate on stuff.
Yes. I'll get with you.
Yeah. Actually, I got an idea, but yeah, definitely. And folks, go check all that out. The link to most of that will be in the description of the podcast once it releases, of course. And DJ, where can they find you if they so fucking dare?
If you're brave and adventurous, you can pretty much type in the music god CJ Plain and find all my shit. But mainly, it is musicgodcjplain.rocks is the website where I'm currently working on trying to point all the other stuff to it. There are the podcasts, the Loud List. We do top 10 lists at Rock, top 10 lists of anything and everything your brain can imagine, from music to movies to pop culture, books, worst Halloween candy, best Christmas gifts, blah, blah, blah. We have the Noise Report, which is my main podcast that is being retired and will be soon to be replaced with the new show called the Mosh Pit Manifesto, which is going to be, instead of being schizophrenic like the Noise Report, just interviewing everybody under the sun, we're going to stick to pop, punk, and metal for this one. And I have a whole, I would not announce any of the guests, but I will tell you the first guest is a huge punk rock star, extremely famous. So looking forward to that. And we're going to do all kinds of really random, fun shit. And of course, there's the books that are being worked on. All Men Are Cremated Equal, which is one part Van Wilder, one part metal and one part truck stops, truck driving, and horror stories. So, Texas Chainsaw Massacre meets Van Wilder for that one. And then Woulda, Coulda, Shoulda is a book all about 80s hair metal, about all the bands that should have, could have, and would have been huge if not for record label fuck ups, malfeasance, and just being buried by tour managers. Yeah, that's everything in a nutshell.
And of course, folks, you can find both your musers on Facebook as Squatchy Largefoot. He likes, or it likes to post out our stuff. I don't know why. You can find us on X and the Gram as that Juggalo Bastard. And you can find us on YouTube. The best place to see everything that Maniacal Music Musings has ever done over the last 3 years is YouTube. Just search Maniacal Music Musings and you'll find it. Or just check any of our podcast descriptions for a link. But we will see you guys next week. No idea what albums yet, but we'll see you next week and we'll find out, as always, together. And we will definitely be getting Steve back on in the future multiple times, probably, because you find a good guest like this that knows music, you got to keep bringing him on to keep the crowd coming. And I'm sure he'll have music releases coming for years to come. So,
anytime you guys want me, I will be here, and I will make sure that the time is right on my end.
I'll shoot you a message tomorrow. I got something else we do in this show that might interest you, but
Cool.
well, we'll see. I'll let you. I don't want to give away the spoilers now, but come back next week, folks. Next week, folks. Jesus fucking Christ, and check out, see what we have, and you'll see Steve again. Don't worry. Until then.